I'm excited to teach you how to make our whole wheat kamut bread today. I get lots of questions on how to do the bread, and you're gonna see that it's so simple. It's just like the white, but we're gonna do it with the berries, and we're gonna grind it at home by ourselves, because when you do that, you're getting the absolute best of the best. So we're just gonna fill this up, and what I've noticed is that you don't want it too coarse, so the best setting on this, you can put the lid on, but just make sure that this is in really tight. If not, it will explode. So I like it right in the middle. It's not too fine and it's not too coarse. This is the texture that I like. So then just turn it on. And you can grind as much as you want. That's the beautiful part. Like if you need a cup, if you need 3 cups, just grind as much as you want. Look, the smell, why does it smell so good? I never knew that I would love that smell, but look at that. See, it's the best texture doing it right there. Look how gorgeous that is. So you could grind this flour and you could honestly put it in a Ziploc baggie and freeze it and keep it for up to a year, 18 months. But the older your flour gets, the less nutrients, right? So that's why I just always love to do it fresh. So let's get making the best bread on earth. The most important step, I can't say it enough when you're making bread, is the temperature of your water. You gotta have good water temp for the yeast. You're either gonna kill it or it's gonna take way too long for it to get bubbly. What I like to do is I turn on the tap and I just let the water go. I test it on my wrist. You want it the temperature of like a baby's bath or a baby's bottle. And I'm telling you, it's the best. I love the Red Star yeast. I think it's the best. You don't want to do the instant. I don't think the instant works as well at all. So I'm just gonna dump it into the bowl. You can see right away we're getting bubbles and the yeast is happy. If it's not doing this, just don't even continue with the bread. You will not have good bread. Now we're going to add half of the honey. What you're doing when you're just adding everything in the bowl like this, you're creating a sponge. It's actually breaking down the gluten before it ever gets to your gut. So now we're just gonna get the flour. You kind of sift it like this, and then we're going to add 4 cups. And when you're doing the sponge, it's going to be on the stickier side, which is perfect. That's exactly what you want. So we have 4 cups. And I'll show you, see how this is exactly the texture that you want at this point. And then we're gonna let it sit for about 20 to 25 minutes because you want this to sit and ferment. Let it do the work. Let it break down the gluten. But look, so that's exactly the way that you want this to look at this point. So you need a cover. You can either use plastic wrap, you can use a light dish towel, you can use our cool beeswax wraps because that's natural and they're really cute. You just wanna make sure the heat is being trapped, and don't forget that bread, your kitchen needs to be warm. It needs to at least be 72 degrees for bread to actually be happy and wanna rise in your kitchen. Our bread has now been going for about 25 minutes. Look at that. Whoa. Oh, I just think it's so beautiful every time. And it smells. Don't you just love the smell of bread? Even before it comes out of the oven, I'm like, that smells so good. Okay, so the best part, we're gonna just kind of punch it down. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that is. We're now gonna add the rest of our honey, which, why do I always get, that is too much honey and too sweet? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. This is not too sweet, I promise. But if you want to do less honey, then of course you can, but I like it sweet. Then we're gonna add a tablespoon of our French salt and 3.5 tablespoons of melted butter, okay? Now we're just gonna mix this. Make sure to mix all that up well. Then we're going to add more flour. And this is where it's very important. This is the next important thing. You can over add on flour every time you make bread. And if you do, you're not getting the full yummy effect. It's either too dense, it's not as light and airy. So we're going to add until it comes away from the bowl. So we're gonna go with like 2 cups. Take it slow because you can always add more flour, but you can't take away. See? We'll see if this is perfect. Whether everything goes into play when you're making bread. I could even make the same recipe, I say this all the time, right now again, and I would maybe add more or less flour because maybe you didn't measure a full cup the one time. So just take it slow. And that's why making bread with this thing is just the best because you're going to get a real feel for how much flour you need to add. Sometimes when you do it in a mixer, you over add because you keep thinking, oh no, it needs more, but it actually doesn't. So, okay, look, this is still too sticky. So we're just gonna keep adding. This is always my workout of the day. Who needs to lift weights when you got this? It's starting to come away from the bowl, but still, we're not there yet. So I'm gonna add just a little bit more. See how light this is? Oh man, you've never, ever had better whole wheat bread, ever. Okay, so look at that. It's starting to come away from the bowl, like this. See that? But it's still like kind of sticky, but we're still then gonna take it out on the counter and we're gonna knead it and add a little bit more flour. So this is why this is now good. So some of you ask me, what do I do differently with whole wheat at this stage? And honestly, it's the exact same. It's the exact same. There is nothing different. You're just still taking it slow. You're making sure that you're not adding too much flour. But really, it's the exact as if you're making the white. So now we're gonna take it out and we're just gonna start kneading. So what we need to do, you got to make sure to be kneading for about 5 minutes. And I've realized this is the one difference that I have realized with the whole wheat and the white is if you don't do enough kneading on the whole wheat, it will actually create some holes in your bread. I don't know why, but you'll see on the inside. But so you've got to really make sure that you dedicate about 5 minutes. You can stop and take a little bit of a break, but you have to knead this bread for about 5 minutes. And even if you do get holes in your bread, it's good. Who cares? Sometimes we just get crazy about the way bread will look. Sometimes it's okay that it exploded on the side. It's an artisan bread. You handmade this. Be proud of yourself. I love that I got the berries everywhere. It's like, look at that. We're gonna get little chunks of berries maybe in our bites of bread today. We've been kneading now our bread on and off for about 5 minutes, so it's perfect. Now we're gonna put it back into the bowl, and I sprayed it, I greased it just a little bit so it doesn't totally stick. And then we're gonna cover this again, let it rise for another 20, 25 minutes. Then we shape and put them into the pans. We're getting closer, we're almost done. So we're just gonna cover again. And then it's done. It's now been rising again, and we're now going to have our last final rise in the pans. So we're gonna take this out. So we're just gonna give it a quick little knead. You just wanna get like the air bubbles out of it. Get it all nice and smooth again. And then we're going to make these into minis. I only like the mini size. I think it's the perfect portion. I think it stays fresh longer. I don't care what bread you're doing, minis are the way to go, I promise you. We've been trying to make these for about 3 years now. We've had drama with machines and all the things, and look how cute. Look at them. Made in the USA. We're gonna divide the dough into 6, like I said before. So I just kind of cut in half and then divide into 3 on this side. That one got a little bit too much. What I have figured out is when you weigh them, then they're evenly perfect and they just look uniform, but you don't have to. But you want to make them about under 11 ounces. So it's about 10 ounces something. Then this is the way I like to shape the dough. You kind of do like a quick little pinch around the entire dough. You're taking out the air bubbles, okay? Then you tuck in the sides and you're folding under and then roll the bread like this. So simple. Then this is the fun part.
She loves slamming her bread.
I do.
Hi.
Amy's joined us.
Back into the country home. It's not every day I come up here.
Well, now you can have hot, fresh bread.
Oh, that's
How
the
much
way
do you
that it
love
should
the
be.
whole wheat?
Well, I mean, I really like it. I think it's yummy. I used to hate whole wheat growing up,
Me
but
too.
whole wheat is so
This is
good
the
now.
best
Is
whole
it an
wheat.
age thing? I don't know. Is
No,
it because we're
it's
getting
because
old?
this is not
What
the-
is
no.
it? Okay.
This is not
It's
the
because
normal
it's good.
wheat.
It's because it's good.
It's because it's good.
But what is it about old people and crunchy cookies? I'm serious.
I
I've
don't
been
know.
really on that one lately. Why? Why do older people
I don't know.
love
I can't
a
do it.
hard cookie?
I know.
What is it about the texture of that hard cookie? They just love it.
I don't know. Okay, so we've got our bread in our pans. Look at these little babies. Some are a little bit bigger. And then look, we're gonna cover them with a dish towel. Okay, now we're gonna let it rise again for 25 minutes and I'm gonna show you the poke test on when they're ready for the oven. Whoa, the bread, woo, it's ready for, oh wow.
Poke it, because I gotta go.
Amy's gotta leave. It's ready. Let's get this in the oven quick.
Why do you poke it?
Amy,
Why do you do it?
that's how you know it's ready for the oven. That is the
Is it
perfect
what?
test.
Tell them.
Okay, if the indent comes back out at you, it's not ready yet. So that's where you can get explosion on the side, da 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 da. But this is so ready.
So you're gonna take that one to the neighbor?
Yeah. Love ya.
Bye, love you.
Bye.
Thanks.
The bread's ready for the oven, like I said. The only trick I want to tell you that is really good is if you turn your oven up to 400 degrees, because it gets the oven hot enough that it then won't deflate once you put it in. And if you have a convection oven, I love to bake bread on convection. With our pans, they are a thicker metal, so you need to put them on the bottom rack so that the bottoms get done. But that's it. Just don't forget to turn your oven back down to 350 because I have done that before, and then you get the bread a little too done. Once the bread's in the oven, then that's when you turn it down to 350, and then you will see your bread, if we can get to 350, you'll see they just bake perfect. Perfect. But if you don't have convection, don't worry. You don't have to have it. I just love to use it. We're gonna take them out of the oven now. And let me tell you how you know your bread is done. You always have to check the bottom. If the bottoms are light brown like that, they're done. Or you can use like a meat thermometer and you can check your bread, and if it goes to 200 degrees, your bread is also done. Look how amazing these look. I mean, we're gonna now take them out of the pans. They got the light brown, just like I said. So then you want them to be on a cooling rack. But we're then gonna maybe brush some butter on top. This whole wheat is so light. It is the lightest whole wheat. I can't say it enough. You're gonna crave it. And look at the pans. Look at the pans, by the way. Came out perfect. Perfection. Can't say that enough either. So now we're gonna brush some butter, okay? Like this. Just get it while it's nice and hot. Even our little fatty one turned out, look, the overproofed one, she still even is perfection. Now, let's cut into one. Look at that. See the light color of that whole wheat? Look at how soft. Look, oh my heavens. Put some more butter on that. Yes, please. Lots of butter. I can't contain myself. Wow. Never gets old. Never gets old. The smell, the feeling that we got going on in the kitchen right now, nothing better. Nothing better than doing this right here. I got a chunk of butter in my mouth. I didn't really spread that.